The Florida Gators have done it. They've moved on to the next round of March Madness with a 95-69 nice win over Norfolk State.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Next week, Locked On Gators, your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free by listening to the podcast and on YouTube. And the Florida Gators have, for the first time since I took over this show, won an NCAA tournament game. The Florida Gators beat Norfolk State 95-69. And look, we're going to talk about it, right? A lot of Florida Gators fans are upset with it. I get it. Norfolk State shouldn't have had 69. The spread was 28.5. You won by 26. Sure. Right? Did you? Yeah, 26. Quick math. But yeah, look, there were things to be concerned about, of course. However, I am going to say that I'm not super concerned about that too much. Shout out Jacob Joseph. I don't know who you are, but shout out me on the chat. So go ahead. So shout out Jacob Joseph. But yeah, look, the Florida Gators won 95-69. It started it off with I got a tag from or I got a message in a group chat with the start of the game after Walter Clayton hit that 3 to start and said that was the most swag way to start a game ever. Because it was, right? That deep 3, logo 3 to start it off is huge. And look, it was sloppy and it was messy, but this is also a thing that I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I hinted to it, right? I kind of hinted at, hey, Florida facing Norfolk State. Norfolk State allows a ton of offensive rebounds. They are one of the yes, I did, Zach. They are one of the worst offensive rebounding or one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the country. It's not out of the realm of possibility for Florida to just say, hey, man, let's shoot a ton of threes. We're going to get the offensive rebounds considering how good we are at offensive rebounding. And we'll keep winning. And that was kind of how it felt like it went for a large part, right? I mean, Walter Clayton hit that first 3. Then they missed their next 5 shots or next 5 threes, if I'm not mistaken, but kept missing, getting the ball, kicking out, going on. It was overall, I mean, I feel like the second half was very, hey, man, like, we're winning this game. Let's not put ourselves in a tough spot. I get it. People are upset with some of the lack of effort that we saw. I understand that. I agree that they shouldn't have been as lackadaisical as they were. However, I do think that a lot of it came down to a couple of things, right? One, up huge. Don't get in foul trouble. Don't stop the clock. Don't give them time. Just knowing that eventually you will get back on, even if you do have a little bit of a cold stretch offensively. I understand all that. But also, I think a lot of it was just, hey, let's just go in there. Let's get our win and let's get out of it, right? And this was a game where Florida didn't shoot great from 3. But Norfolk State didn't go in to win that game, right? If anybody disagrees, raise your hand. But Norfolk State was not trying to win that game. I'm sorry, but you cannot go into a game against the Florida Gators and only attempt 14 threes. You can't. Like, you're not going to be able to compete at that point. If you're going to go and play the Florida Gators and you're going to attempt 14 threes, buddy, you don't stand a chance, right? You just don't stand a chance. So Norfolk State wasn't trying to win that game. They weren't. I think they started trying to win that game. And then when they realized some of the things that Florida was doing, they were like, oh, never mind. These guys are for real. Let's just walk away. Because Florida, I mean, Walter Clayton, again, just on demon time today. Like, there's no other way to put it. Walter Clayton is just on demon time today. Alex Condon, I was thinking about this before, and I think I sent a message to the Insider program. Might not have. But I can't remember the last time the Florida Gators had a big that could get double teamed at the top of the paint or top key and dribble out of it. Like, not need help, just dribble out of it. I can't remember the last time the Florida Gators have had that. So that stuff is just crazy. Walter Clayton Jr. again was just on it. Couple lackadaisical turnovers by the team again. That's a thing that they do. But Florida had 21 offensive rebounds, right? Norfolk State had 14 defensive rebounds. Florida had 21 offensive rebounds. Norfolk State had 28 total rebounds. Noted how they also had 14 defensive, because that means Norfolk State had 14 offensive rebounds. And that was a thing that has bothered me for a while with this Florida Gators team. We've talked about it quite a bit of they allow too many offensive rebounds. And a lot of times it's that they are bigger than the people they're on the court with, but the other side's out hustling them. And I think that that's where most of the Florida Gators fans that have concerns with this team or that were unsatisfied with this whooping still, I mean, I've had the belt on. Like, you got the belt just hanging here. I do think that most of the people that have any concerns with that, it stems from we've seen them be lackadaisical at times before, and this is March. You can't have those stretches. I get it. My thing is just I don't know how much I'm going to fault them not going full throttle when they're up huge the entirety of the game, right? Because I also look at it as if they were going full throttle and they were meeting you under the basket and getting physical and strongly contesting layups and dunk attempts by Norfolk State, if they were doing that and someone had gotten injured, we would be having a different conversation, right? Like here, they played their minutes. They got to work offensively, which I do think is important that, they were able to go and keep shooting on those rims, keep shooting with that ball on those rims, and keep getting used to the environment that they're in right now, because they're going to play in that environment again. And so getting used to that and not going full throttle in the paint against a team where you're up almost 30. Like, I understand. I understand both sides. I do. I don't fault you if you are upset with I'll say it, a lack of effort defensively. I don't fault you if you're upset with that. I also see the flip side of saying, hey, well, yeah, they lacked effort at some point, but also had they gotten hurt being really physical there, I think a lot of us would have been really pissed about why, like hypothetically, I'm going to knock on wood. Let's say Alex Condon had gotten banged up contesting a shot down low, right? I think a lot of Florida Gators fans would have been like, well, why the hell was he even in the game when you're up that much? I think a lot of Florida Gators fans would have felt like that. So that's where I have just a tough time truly faulting them too much. But I understand both sides. Again, it's just like, if you fault them, that's fine. I don't fault you for faulting them. But I just look at it and I'm like, all right, well, they weren't coming back, right? Like, I think all of us, even after Norfolk State went on a 11-0 run, 12-0 run to end the first half, they were still down 21. So it was like, all right, well, they would have to go on an insane run for 20 minutes and outscore the Florida Gators by at least 21 to win the game. And nobody thought that was going to happen, right? And so I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I understand both sides. I'm fine with it personally. I would have liked to see more effort from them, but I'm not going to kill them for not doing it. Okay. Like, if I were Todd Golden, I would be like, hey, like, body up a little bit. I tried a little bit better of contesting a shot there. But Norfolk State was intent on just layup. And when you're taking a bunch of layups, we've got a team that's getting to the free throw line. We've got a team that's hitting threes, and you're not even attempting them. Like, 3 is more than 2. And when you are trailing by 20 and you're going to shoot a bunch of 2s when we're shooting 3s, you're not going to win. You don't stand a chance at that point. And so that's how I look at it, where I get people being frustrated with the lack of defensive effort. I understand it. I don't fault you if you have an issue with it. I just don't fault them as much. because it was a blowout and you were taking threes, they were going for layups, and it's like, all right, cool. Go for layups then. Like, I'm fine with it. We don't know who Florida's going to play in their next game because Oklahoma and Connecticut or Oklahoma and UConn. I don't know why I call them Connecticut. I never do that. Oklahoma and UConn are set to tip off at about 15, 20 minutes at this point. So we're not really going to be able to talk about that one. But I do think that we're going to have a bonus show come out on, I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow evening, Sunday morning. We'll see if we can get a crossover going to preview the game. We will hit the chat, though, when we get back with this bonus episode of Locked On Gators, where we're going to get to do at least one more bonus episode, right? Because the Florida Gators are moving on. We are all about the stats because numbers don't lie. And when it comes to the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X, the numbers are on an MVP level. With the ability to tow up to 8,500 pounds, it can quite literally carry the whole team, plus the gear, wherever you need to go. Especially if we're talking about a basketball team. They're not that heavy. There's not that many of them. There's not that much gear. Just saying. It's powered by a twin-turbo V6 engine, delivering the strength and performance to handle highways, back roads, and everything in between. And with room for up to 8 people, not going to fit the whole basketball team there. The Armada Pro 4X is built for big crews, big adventures, and even bigger memories, and hopefully big dubs. Take your adventures to new heights in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Learn more at nissanusa.com. And if a win isn't enough energy for you, first off, gluttonous. But daylight saving times sneaks up on you. Sure. Florida Gators play a late game. Sure, they're in the West bracket. 5-hour energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little bit of a boost to power through. So whether you're staying late watching the tournament, seeing who Florida's going to play on Sunday, could be. Tomorrow, watching who's going to win the late games on Saturday, could be. Squeezing in around at golf after work, or just trying to keep up with your busy day. 5-hour energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need it. Head to 5hourenergy.com to find our 15 flavors to choose from. I told you before, grape is my favorite. I'm a big grape fan, so I love it. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack delivered right to your door. If you need one now, grab a 5-hour energy shot at your local grocery store, convenience store, gas station, wherever you need. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized. Thanks for Locked On Gators, your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever it's in the podcast and on YouTube. We're gonna go. I'm accidentally posting things. Okay, that's what we're doing. But we're gonna go through the chat here, talk about it. We got Q, belt to ass. Zach Fink said 1-0, keep it rolling. Ryan Tuber said, let's go Gators, but we got to clean that up Sunday. 69 points with only 2 3-pointers is unacceptable. Should have scored 100 on them too. Yep. Again, I don't fault anybody for being frustrated with it. I think, and I'm going to be, again, I think everybody knows I try to be as realistic as possible here. I'm going to say that I think the reason that they were doing it, especially in this game in the second half, is strictly because they knew they were up by so much. Because I feel like until the game was out of hand, they were playing pretty solid defense, right? Like until the game was out of hand, they were forcing Norfolk State to take shots that they didn't want to take. They weren't letting Norfolk State get to the line. And so I do think that until the game was out of hand, they were putting foot on the gas, right? And so that's how I look at it. I understand Norfolk State having more points in the paint. I will also say that I don't like people bringing up just points in the paint. I've seen people do it on Twitter of just like, oh, well, Norfolk State had more points in the paint than Florida. Like that, giving up 48 points in the paint, fine, complain. Saying that they scored more in the paint is not the same to me because Norfolk State shot 61 free field goal attempts, right? 47 of them were twos. Florida shot 60 field goal attempts. 28 of them were twos. Yeah, they're going to have more points in the paint when you are greatly outscoring them from three. Florida had 30 points from three. Norfolk State had 6. I don't care about points in the paint like that if you've got a 28-point differential from 3. I don't care about points in the paint like that if you've made 16 more free throws and shot 19 more free throws on them. I don't care that much. Also, I don't know how the hell it happened. Walter Clayton Jr. got fouled on, was it 3-point attempts, and he got an and one on one? Like, what the hell was going on there? Brian Moore was in foul trouble the whole time. Not surprising with how aggressive they were playing clearly throughout the entirety of the game. Which I don't know if their approach was, hey, let's just be really physical with the Florida Gators and see if we can get them off their game, but it didn't work. Belt to ass, 1 down, 5 to go. Let's go Gators. A win's a win, but we've got to clean it up for Sunday. Team was playing way too lazy. Should have put up 100 at least, but belt to ass. See, and like I get offense. Will Richard shot horrible. Will Richard played a bad game. I don't know what it was. I can't explain it, but just he didn't seem like Will Richard. And it's a bit odd because I feel like he doesn't have many bad shooting games. I feel like he just has games where he doesn't shoot a lot and he seems too conservative. But he shot the ball 6 times, all 6 from 3, made 1, went 5 for 6 from the line. It was one of his worst games. Gonna hope that he's healthy and it was just an off night for him. Again, gonna hope that that's the case. I don't know. He looked a little slower than usual. Maybe it was something from when they played against Tennessee. He got rolled up on. Maybe that's sore. Maybe that's bothering him. I don't know. But he just didn't look like Will Richard tonight, if that makes sense. But Walter Clayton Jr. showed up. Elijah Martin showed up. And they're going to show up, right? We know those two are going to be here because they've done it every time they've been in a tournament game. They've shown up. Got to clean it up. Man was a belting, but playing way more talented teams than that. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing too. Like, I get it. I understand the concerns. I'm not saying that there's no reason to be concerned about it. I'm just saying that I do think that a lot of it started happening when Florida was already up huge. And to me, that kind of seemed like they were like, all right, like, go ahead, shoot your layups. Like, take your layups. We're up by 25, 30. So you take your layups. We're still going to shoot threes, and you're never going to catch up. And so I feel like that was part of it. A lot of sloppy play. What's up, Duval? How you doing? Hope you're feeling a bit better. Love you. Everybody give Duval T your condolences if you can in the chat. Love him. He's good listener, good Gator fan. So give him your condolences, please. Ryan Tooper said the first 15 minutes were fire. Brandon had the belt ready since that logo 3. I don't think I'm going to snap it at people tonight. I feel bad snapping it against a 16 seed. It just like it doesn't feel like it has the same meaning, right? Just it doesn't feel like it has the same meaning there. And I'm going to hope that I get to snap it on Sunday, because if I don't, then I'm going to really kick myself for not doing it tonight. Better to be sloppy now than later. Good point. Richard has to play better. I feel like we were on scrimmage mode, cruise control after the first 15 minutes. Guys probably felt bored out there after a season of SEC competition. Just got to lock in from here. Go get it. Yeah, Drake, I think that's where I'm at. Like, they had an SEC schedule. They just won the SEC championship. Like, they've had a hell of a past month or so. I'm okay if they're up 30 and they take their foot off the gas against Norfolk State. Like, if you were facing Oklahoma or Connecticut, whoever you play on Sunday, I want you to go full throttle the entire time. I don't care how much you're up by. I don't care if there's 4 minutes left and you're up 40. I want you to keep kicking their ass. But in this game, sure, I'm fine with it. Also, wild to think Todd has us as a 1 seed, and that was his first ever tourney win. We've got a dude running this program. Yep, first ever tourney win. He had a loss with San Francisco. And then last year, of course, lost to Colorado in the first round, which, again, I feel like so many people misremember that game. I feel like a lot of people think of that as like, oh, yeah, Florida should have dominated them because Florida made the SEC championship. Like, Florida was like a 2-point favorite going into that game. I feel like people misremember that. It wasn't like Florida was expected to dominate. That was supposed to be a close game, and it was. Clayton's earning money with each game. Another dog walk. We played terrible defense, allowed a team that can't shoot like 50 points in the paint. Made no sense. I think that a lot of that was just, hey, if they want their layups, let them shoot their layups. I think that's what it was. I'm going to be honest. And again, I'm not trying to overlook any lack of defensive intensity. I'm not trying to overlook any of that. I'm just trying to be honest where I think that that's what it was. I will always try to look for reasoning in things, and I think that's what it is. Was it just me, or was that the worst game Will Richards played this year? Condon had a so-so game as well, but he's been on a tear lately. Yeah, Will Richard didn't have a great game at all in any way, shape, or form. I was interested. So Brian Moore Jr., the star of Norfolk State, got into foul trouble early on and sat most of the remainder of the first half. Played a good bit after that. Didn't start the second half, if I'm not mistaken. Played a good bit after that. And to start the game, Will Richard was on him, and I was kind of looking forward to that battle. I'm going to be honest. I think Will Richard is the guy that Todd Golden has accepted. Like, hey, you've got the length, and usually the athleticism match up with most people, so we're going to throw you out there. It wasn't the case this time around. He didn't look like himself. He didn't look like he was playing a good game. I don't know if he's dealing with something bothering him or what it was. But Will Richard is someone that needs to be available fully on Sunday and then mentally. And this team, again, I'm not trying to excuse anything. I'm just being completely honest and saying that I think that when this team let their foot off the gas was when they realized Norfolk State wasn't playing to win. Because Norfolk State wasn't. I get it. Their coach went out there when they were down 20-ish early in the first half. And he was like, hey, we outscore them by a point a minute for the rest of the game, and we're back in it. And it's like, okay, well, guess what? Florida's shooting a ton of threes, and you're going for layups. You're not trying to win this game. You're not trying to outscore them. It was as simple as that. Like, Norfolk State was happy to be there. And I got the sense of that sitting on my couch. I feel like they can get the sense of that playing on the court against them. So I'm not too broken up about it. Again, I understand if you are. I don't fault you if you are. I don't think you're wrong if you are. It's just we just disagree on it. If you could pick who you would want on Sunday, UConn or OU, Oklahoma, I think. I talked about this kind of briefly on, I think it was Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I think it was Wednesday. But Oklahoma, I think UConn's a better basketball team. And again, I'm saying this a couple minutes before tip-off, so I could be proven wrong in 10 minutes they can prove me wrong. But yeah, I think UConn's the better basketball team. We've seen Florida beat Oklahoma handedly. Florida matches up really well, I think, against Oklahoma. So if we had to pick someone, Oklahoma. Look, I don't care if Florida faces the worst team out of every possible matchup they can get. Wins are wins, right? Going to the national championship, winning the national championship means the same thing, right? I could care less if it's taking the easier path there. They came out of the SEC as SEC champions. They came out of the SEC regular season as a 2 seed there. They were 1 seed. They have all of the championship pedigree there, all the championship measurables. They have it all. If they do it, I could care less about any asterisks people want to add about competition, getting to play lighter. I don't care. Give me the easier matchup. Give me the wins. I don't give a damn who it is. I'm going to still talk my talk. All right? Like, I'm still going to do it. I don't care. But the Florida Gators will face either Oklahoma or UConn on Sunday night. Again, we're going to have a bonus show to preview that matchup. I don't know if we'll do it tomorrow. It won't be tomorrow morning, I can tell you that. I don't know if we'll do that tomorrow or Sunday morning. But we will have an episode to preview that matchup. And yeah, I'll see if we can get a crossover if either of those shows are available to do so. I don't know what their travel's like or anything, but we will talk about that. Thank you all so much for tuning into Locked On Gators. We will be back again either tomorrow or Sunday morning at the absolute latest to talk more Florida Gators basketball. I am Brandon Olsen. Find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with New York Giants on SI, and I'll see you all next time.